Hi there everyone and welcome to Buy Now, Sell Now. I'm Vandabash.
Hi everyone, I'm Mubina Kapasia and let's tell you what we have packed for you on the show in this edition. First up, some of the stocks that we'll be discussing on the show. Well, we'll be discussing Astrazenca India as well as Suprajit Engineering.
Not just that, today we have Vinay's portfolio that's up for discussion on the show.
Okay, let's also introduce the market experts that will be joining us to give us a perspective on your stocks. First up, we have Gaurang Shah, the VP of Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services, as well as Manish Hathiramani, proprietary trader and technical trader at Deen Dayal Investment, joins us on the technicals. Good morning to both of you gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Now let's get on straight up to our first query, and it is a caller from Kerala. Good morning, sir. What is your query?
My name is James Sebastian from Palakkad, Kerala. I have 500 shares of Astrazenca at the price of 1230. I have 1 year horizon. Should I hold it or sell it?
Okay, that's the query coming in on Astrazenca. Let's just tell you a bit about the company. Remember that it's a multinational company with headquarters in England, and just recently the company has of course sold off its proprietary rights, and it is engaged in the discovery and the development of medicines, also undertakes commercialization of medicines. Healthcare clinical trials are some of the key segments, and its main products are Meronem and Brilinta Axa. Remember that recently the company also sold off its antibiotics firm to Pfizer. Gaurang, first to you, on the fundamentals, what would you advise our viewer to do?
So, thanks, Obita. Morning, everyone. Well, as you rightly pointed out, it's an MNC pharma company, but recently there have been certain, businesses that they have sold out to. Have got cash on balance sheet, would definitely be an added incentive for long-term investors if the management has to clarify as to how they are going to take the growth of the company forward. It's an MNC company, that too in the pharma, still having some niche products along in the portfolio. And my belief is that definitely from a long-term point of view horizon that he's got, I would say first of all hold on to it. Stock has corrected from the acquisition price, somewhere close to about 1050 or thereabouts, where the market closed on Friday. If he's got investable amount, I would definitely say that he can buy some more over here. Maybe not 500 quantity, but at least about 200, 250 odd quantity. By that, he will bring down the acquisition price. Our target stands at 1350. So if he averages out, he's got a good scope of profitability from a long-term point of view.
Okay, averaging out perhaps is the way to go, and you can look to stay invested as of now. Gaurang said although it must have peaked from the acquisition price, it's a good stock to have. Take a look at the kind of run-up that we've witnessed this week. The stock has moved very steadily and is currently quoting at levels of about 1026. In fact, let's also map the chart patterns over the slightly longer term time frame, and the stock has moved quite well from levels of about 920, which it was stabilizing at. So let's understand what exactly should be the outlook from a technical standpoint. And Manish, run us through what exactly is your view. Do you think that our investor here should stay put in the stock?
Thanks to you and to all the viewers. Well, I'm of the opinion that this is a sell call from my side. The stock has been in a downtrend ever since the levels of 1100 broke, and if you look at the volume chart, you will see that the volumes have been phenomenal as well. As a result of this, we should be exiting the stock whenever we get spurts. So like you correctly said, this week we had some kind of a spurt. If we can get a similar thing, maybe Monday or Tuesday, he could exit. Now, if he would like to be in the same sector, Cipla is a much better bet to be in. Otherwise, any of the frontline banking stocks, the money can get better returns as well as make up the losses of this stock.
Okay, that's a call coming in. You may actually consider looking at Cipla within the same segment or even some of the banking names. But let's move on to our next query, and it's an email query coming in from Swapna. She writes to us from Hyderabad. She says she's bought 500 shares of Suprajit Engineering at 130 rupees per share, and she wants to know whether to hold or sell if she has a long-term time horizon. Clearly, she's making some good money over there because currently the stock is quoting at about 200 levels plus. But let's tell you a bit about the company. Now, the company is engaged in offering auto components and also in the manufacturing of, or rather the supply of its products to OEMs. It caters to a range of auto as well as non-auto cable requirements, and most importantly, there is of course the merger of Phoenix Lamps that's on the anvil. Gaurang, over to you first on the fundamentals. What would you advise her?
Well, the company has been doing well, and so is the run-up from those levels of acquisition that she has done, trading about 200 plus kind of levels. And if you look at in terms of return, there is some decent money on the table. So if you're not hungry for more, want to take some money off the table and park your capital somewhere else, I would say that you can take money off the table. And if auto OEM segment is something that what you're looking at, then I've got two investment options for her. First one is Motherson Sumi, wherein the negativities of Volkswagen and European slowdown has been a thing of the past, and over the last 6 months the stock has performed phenomenally well, and the management has given out some strong verbatim in terms of growth. So Motherson Sumi would be an option over here with a target of somewhere close to a 350 to 380. If not this, then in a cap goods engineering space, I can suggest a mid-cap company, KC International, quoting somewhere around about 120, 130 odd levels. From a long-term point of view, we have a target of 175, and so it's a very conservative target. Very recently, this company has been able to garner orders from various verticals that it is present into, and our belief is that execution is absolutely no problem, and the experience is par excellence along with the management. So you have two choices: either you switch to KC International with a target of 175, or you can look at Motherson Sumi with a target of 350 to 380 long-term.
Okay, but definitely not Suprajit Engineering. That's the call coming in from Gaurang. Better options there in the mid-cap space. Currently, the stock's at about 211. Manish, do you share the same views? Do you think that the stock has run its course or fizzled out, and that chart patterns don't look decisive enough for it to see any sort of conclusive breakout? Or do you believe that he should stay put and perhaps be a bit patient?
My recommendation is to continue holding this particular stock, because 245 is a potential target that we are working with, and the chartical patterns are solid that we could get there. That particular point of price, we could be booking profits, and thereafter you could hold on to this with a revised stop loss maybe of about 175. So in case there is a crack, you can still make up all your money and not lose the capital.
Okay, you can hold on and look at a stop loss, or rather a price point of about 245 levels. That's the call coming in from Manish. Let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll be discussing Vinay's portfolio on the show. Welcome back. This is Buy Now Sell Now Weekend.
Well, let's focus in on our Portfolio Advisor segment. And as promised, today we will be discussing Vinay's portfolio. 35 years old with a long-term time horizon. He's an investor and wants to know what to do for the next 3 to 4 years. So we'll have Gaurang help you out. First up, let's run you through all of the stocks in the portfolio. Starting off with Ashok Leyland, picked up at 99 rupees. It's close to 900 shares. Motherson Sumi, 185, making some good money on those 300 shares that he holds. He's purchased Federal Mughal, close to 200 shares, 350 is the buy point. Moving right on then to some financials and banking stocks. Care Ratings, 90 shares at 955. He's got blue chip Axis Bank, bought at a level of about 560, so a little bit of a loss there. United Spirits, 30 shares, 2,500 rupees is where he's fetched it. Let's move right on to Syntex, 103 is where he's got close to 900 shares. Bharat Forge picked it up at a fairly heavy price of 1,040. He's got Eros International, 300 shares at 180. Moving on to All Cargo, that too features on the list. 300 shares and he's bought it at 157. L&T from the cap goods space, 1,615 is its buy price. It's currently trading at about 1,500 rupees. And then there's Lupin as well, bought at 782, just a small quantity of 20 shares. Gaurang, let's start off by your assessment on the first 3 stocks. Ashok Leyland, unfortunately, has been doing very well, but not for him, given that he's purchased it at close to $100. Motherson Sumi, what's the outlook here? You seem to be fairly upbeat on the stock. And do you like the fundamentals of Federal Mughal?
Yeah, so, the First, I mean, he's got all three stocks from the auto ancillary space. On Ashok Leyland, I would definitely recommend hold and a buy at somewhere close to about 85, 86 rupees where the stock closed on Friday. And not to forget, the recent news of Hinduja Foundry getting merged with Ashok Leyland came in as a little bit of negativity and could be an overhang over the next 3 to 6 months where the entire merger process goes through. But the positivity is that the synergies will emerge over a period of time, and by and large they have a large outsourcing or procurement that Ashok Leyland does from Hinduja Foundry. So that's going to bring down the cost of input to a great extent. And since he got it at 99, I think it's prudent if he averages at 84, 85, wherever the stock closed on Friday. Long-term target of 115 to hold on to Ashok Leyland. On Mothers and Sumi, like I just spoke to our earlier investor, we're extremely positive about this particular counter, and amongst the OEM segment, it could have tailwind possibility in terms of economy stirring around as far as Europe, US is concerned, and orders could start trickling in thick and thin. Even if it doesn't and it takes time, then domestic market and other geographies are a great market for this particular company, and equally robust is the replacement market wherein the order comes in again at a very faster pace. So hold on to Mothers and Sumi with a target of 380. I beg your pardon, Federal Mughal. Now here is where I would request a change. I would request him to possibly make a change to Bharat Forge. This particular stock has also been under the weather since the Class 8 truck orders were seen on downtake for the last 2 or 3 quarters. Last quarter, what numbers we saw, they were impressive, though it was a downtake, but it was a recovery. It was a lower downtake in terms of order percentage. And my sense is that these Class 8 truck orders, which are chassis for heavy tonnage, long vehicles, multi-axle vehicles, is likely to pick up steam as the economy is turned around in US. And other geographies are also quite robust for Bharat Forge. So make a switch from Federal Mughal to Bharat Forge with a target of somewhere close to about 1660. I beg your pardon, 1160.
Okay. Those are some of the chops and changes that you can consider. You can hold on to Ashok Leyland. In fact, you can buy some more shares over there because there is more upside potential. Strong fundamentals for Motherson Sumi, one of the OEM players that really are up in the game. But Federal Mughal is something that he's not very confident about. In fact, you can replace that one with Bharat Forge. Let's get in a check on the next 3 stocks that Vinay holds in his portfolio. First up, it's Care Ratings, bought in at 955 rupees, and that stock clearly is doing something really good for him because it's currently at 1500 rupees. Axis Bank, a bit of a pain point at 560 rupees. In fact, even the Q2 numbers are expected on Monday. And lastly, it's United Spirits, which he's bought in at 2500 rupees. Gaurang, what's your view on these 3?
So firstly on Care, these kind of companies, Care and CRISIL, they are great company to be with, especially with the, expectation of markets turning around. You are going to see a lot of paper, new fresh paper come into the market via IPO route. That's where large part of the, activity of these kind of companies are, because they are into the rating business of all these kind of papers. And even corporate debt paper is something that is very active, and we feel that going forward you will see a lot of corporate debt paper also hitting the market. In terms of the management, well, excellent. In terms of performance, expected to only improve going forward from here on. Looking at the flow of fresh paper that's going to hit the market. Hold on to Care with a target of 1650. Axis Bank, great bank, interest rates coming down. Management has put in efforts in terms of improving the asset quality, provisioning coming down, activity in terms of recovery picking up steam, and an expectation of another rate cut and loan book growth both on the corporate side as well as retail loan book side. You are going to see some amount of decent upside, whereby the net interest income and margins are going to improve significantly. Hold on to Axis Bank with a target of 660. He's got United Spirits. Now this is one stock, though the consumption theme is quite robust, but the problem is with the news flow. And with Diageo coming in, I expect improvement to come through. But again, there is an overhang in terms of when does Mr. Malia come back and owe up his obligation. So that particular news is going to keep the stock of the entire group under pressure, though there has been some change in terms of activity. But my belief is that you are better off buying an Infosys, which has corrected post the numbers. The commentary has been robust. We expect the turnaround to happen. It may take 1 or 2 quarters, but definitely this is one particular sector, information technology, especially stocks like Infosys and TCS, which you cannot write off. So make a switch to Infosys with a target of 1250, and this is a very conservative target given the performance and the history of track record. My belief is that the numbers improve, we will revise the target upwards.
Okay, there you have it. So some switches and changes. United Spirits not looking all that good. Infi would be a better bet instead. Moving right on then, let's discuss Syntex at 103. Do you think that it's a good level that he's got it at? And do you think perhaps there's potential for more upside here to buy more? What's the view on Bharat Forge and Eros International at 180? He's just about making some money here.
So hold on to Syntex first of all. Again, the stock he acquired at 103, it's trading at somewhere close to about 80, 85 odd levels. Our belief is that the business is going to look quite robust, and of course very recently the management has come out and given a verbatim that they are looking to hive off business and list them as a separate entity which will unlock value. At close to 85 from the level of acquisition of 103, I think it's a decent lower level that you are seeing and great opportunity to average out and bring down your cost of acquisition. From a long-term point of view on Syntex, we have a target of 130. Bharat Forge, as I was just mentioning, great company to be in. Expect orders from US to have a significant upside, and equally robust is the replacement market. 1160 the target, as I mentioned, on Bharat Forge. Eros International is something that I'm a little bit worried about. Maybe take an exit from here, switch on to something like a Z Entertainment. We have a target of 580 on Z Entertainment.
Okay, those are the calls coming in on those stocks. Syntax, you can hold on. In fact, there's a chance to average out your buy price. Bharat Forge, of course, is a buy from Gaurang. And lastly, you can buy into Z Entertainment. But let's move on. And the next three stocks in his portfolio. First up is All Cargo Logistics, bought in at 157 rupees, making some good gains over there. L&T is a bit of a pain point for him because clearly he's bought in at the higher end of the range that the stock has been trading at 1,615. And lastly, Lupin at 782 rupees. Clearly, it's been a purchase that he's made long time ago. Gaurang, what's your advice on these three stocks?
So all cargo, again, there has been activity on the GST front with the council and the various state finance ministers and the Minister of Finance, Mr. Arun Jaitley, trying to iron out things, get into the fixation mode in terms of various rates, 3-4 slabs. It may be a teething trouble. To implement it 1st April 2017, well, it's going to be a wait and watch, but we've seen some decent run-up in the entire logistic pack on fallback of this GST rollout, because this particular logistics sector is going to be one of the greatest beneficiaries. However, his investment in all cargo is something that I am not convinced with. I would prefer something like a container corporation, wherein last 2 quarters were a little bit on the downside in terms of earnings visibility. But the management is given a commentary. They are looking at investing in capacities, container expansion, and of course thereby the outlook in terms of earnings improving. So if you make a switch to container corporation, our target is somewhere close to about 1525 from a long-term point of view. On L&T, no problem. You got it at 1615, 1615. You don't have to worry about it. Stock is trading at somewhere close to about 1450 or 1500 if I'm not mistaken. We are extremely positive about this particular company in the cap goods engineering space, along with the defense play out. From a long-term point of view, our sense is that this gives you a great opportunity to average. We have a target of 1850 from a longer term time horizon. And once this entire defense play rolls out for L&T, we would definitely revise the target upwards, because that's going to throw in some very strong visibility in terms of earnings. For Lupin, you're making double the money. Don't be in a hurry to take your money off the table. We are positive on this particular stock as well in the pharma pack. Recent earnings has given some amount of pressure. Management has given out commentary in terms of their US business, how they are wanting to throw in a lot of bit more effort to improve it further, which has otherwise been on a downscale. From a long-term point of view, we have a target of 1850 on Lupin as well.
Okay, that's the call coming in on the entire portfolio. And when I sincerely hope that you've taken note of all of the chops and changes that have been made by Gaurang and how exactly you should position yourself by making new entries and holding on to certain stocks. Do remember that this is only a model portfolio and you must consult your individual investment advisor before taking any investment decisions. Short break right here on the show. Stay with us for some top bets with our experts. Welcome back. This is Buy Now, Sell Now. Well, let's focus in then on some top ideas. And Gaurang, run us through what your wealth creation bets are for our viewers.
Yeah, I think this is a great market to be in. Avan, honestly, my sense is that if you're not going to be part of this equity growth story in India and the great economic turnaround and growth, you're possibly going to lose out on making some interesting investment from a long-term point of view and multiplying your capital over a longer term. With that sense, our belief is that there are going to be a lot of sectors which are going to participate in this entire growth story and move upwards on the north for the equity markets. Pharma is the first one that we are extremely excited about, and not long ago a lot of people were negative, but now everybody's talking about pharma. We've been extremely positive over the last 2-3 years, and we will remain positive on the pharma pack. From the pharma pack, I've chosen Aurobindo Pharma. We've been consistently having a coverage on Aurobindo Pharma, and on the performance of this company, we've been revising our target upwards and maintaining our coverage. The recent target that we've set aside post the earnings that we've already seen is 980. The second one is from the auto pack, and four-wheeler is where we have identified. And Tata Motors is the stock that I'm talking about. From a long-term point of view, we have a target of 620 on Tata Motors.
Okay, those are some recommendations coming in from a long-term perspective to large-cap stocks. There's Aurobindo as well as Tata Motors. But let's talk markets then and just getting a check on how the Nifty has actually performed over the last week, literally alternating between closing in the red and the green. The Nifty has just been able to post in a marginal uptick of only about 1.28% in the last 5 days. So clearly about 109 points of gains coming in for the benchmark index over there, with the broader markets definitely outperforming the benchmarks. Manish, come in on the markets firstly. What are the levels that you'll be monitoring when trade opens on Monday?
Well, there would be two clear levels because we are facing a lot of resistance around that 87.20, 87.30 mark. I would be really happy only on the long side if we can get past the levels of 87.50, and I'm talking about the spot Nifty over here. On the other hand, a break of about 86.20, 86.30 would be a nervousness situation, and if we fall from there, we could fall all the way down to 8,500.
Okay, and quickly, your top ideas?
I'm working with one buy and one sell. The first buy is on Tata Steel for a target of 437, stop loss of 415. The stock seems to be in fine form. We have very good volumes which have been backing in the last 4 or 5 sessions. The sell call is on Asian Paints for a target of 1115, stop loss of 1205. We have a sharp breakdown which has been below the levels of 1165, 1170, and very good volumes are backing the fall.
Okay, those are some recommendations coming in on the technicals. Thanks so much, Gaurang, as well as Manish, for joining us on BNSN Weekend, answering our viewer queries and, of course, giving us your picks. Let's wind it down then on BNSN Weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.